All right, I'm back, and the package I was looking for was delivered. Not another Jill, something else. But anyway, I'll have to edit these two together, which I don't love to do. I like to just kind of be all at once here, just let it flow. So, all right, so we're gonna go ahead and see what we got going on. So this is a Jill that came from our good friends up north, the Canadians. So I try not to find Jills, but sometimes I just can't help myself, which is another reason, I've made in past videos where, if I can get Jills together and sell them and get them out there to people that appreciate them, then it gives me space and funds to find more Jills to fix. So, because that's ultimately what I decided when I was collecting, and I had that giant collection. I had like 27 Jills, I think. Ultimately decided I just didn't have the space for that, and it was either stop collecting or find another way. And that way for me was to fix Jills and get them out into the world, into other collectors' hands and fans of Jill. And that allowed me to make space to continue to buy Jills and repair them, because ultimately, as much as I love collecting, I love restoring these more. Which kind of makes me feel like I'm doing my part, saving something that ultimately probably would have ended up in the garbage, or it would have just sat silent for a long, long time. All right, I was hoping I could get this paper off, but it is very thick paper. And there's a lot of tape. As far as size goes for this packing, I don't necessarily love it. It does seem to be a little short, so I don't know what they did with her on the inside. I don't even know if this is the top or the bottom. It's just the way it was delivered, so. Right, okay. But this is the opening on this side, so looks like I'll be opening her flat. All right. Well, that was a feat just getting the paper off, but here we are. Yeah, Hello Fresh. More paper. Yeah, let's see here. I'm trying to think. Don't want to move this. Yeah, she's kind of in view there. Gonna move this over. All right, she's kind of in view, so we're gonna see. Don't want to mess up Miss Jill over here. I have her up on a pillow there. Try not to lay Jill's directly on the table, just so it doesn't put pressure on their necks. So I'm sure there's probably some fancier way I could do that, but this is just where I'm at right now. Okay, lots and lots of tape. Which I'd understand, but since it was in paper, it was already kind of protected. Okay. Pull this back. Okay, it looks like they made this box, so it's custom. Which makes me feel a little better. Because that means, it's all sorts of little fun stuff in here. Alright, what do we got here? We have Slumber Party outfit, which is exciting. I just put up one of these and sold on eBay. It was a full set, so this is good because hopefully I can find parts to put up another set for someone. I'm trying to do more sets now because I know a lot of people have Jill and they want to expand, so I'm always trying to find those. See, we have her phone, and it looks like, okay, we have the shoes, and the shoes are actually in really good condition, but they're missing their shoelaces. Okay. Well, not the end of the world, but shoelaces are not super easy to find. Well, actually, they're impossible to find without shoes, but hopefully I can have some extra pair. Wow, that is really... This is her instructions, and they are really pristine. There's no bends at all. That's pretty neat. I always like the ones that come from Canada too because of the French, so it has the French wording as well. And I am assuming these would be tapes. So she came with her French tape. I've got a few of these French tapes, but I haven't put them up because people don't seem to really be interested in poor French Jill. I mean, I don't speak French, so I mean, I know obviously from listening to the first one a million times, I know what the tape is about. But yeah, it just, I think the same thing happened when Jill came out. Like, they thought maybe making French tapes for the Canadians would be exciting, but they didn't do very well. So yeah, so I end up with, I have a decent little supply of French tapes. I should probably put those up at some point, just maybe someone will want one. The French tape, well, I will say I have a good feeling about this Jill just from looking at all of these items I've opened. Seem very, they're packed really well too, so kudos to this seller. But everything looks really pristine. Like, I didn't comment really, but the Slumber Party set looks really vibrant, looks clean, it's not dirty. And the instructions, like I said, were like super nice. And just looking at this French tape, it looks really clean. When I mean clean, I mean it's still very pink. There's no dirt. I don't see scratches anywhere. And Slumber Party tape looks like it was maybe used a little more. But they both still are very clean. A good telltale sign of wearage is if you look on the back. So obviously if the tape's never been used, it's clear and smooth and perfect. But if you kind of shine it in the light, you can see a bunch of scuffs here where it's been shoved in her back a couple times, and if it gets used a lot, it'll start rubbing off the sticker. So like this one, you can see there's like a, well, I guess you probably can't because it's too small, but there's a little line going through here and some of the wording is smudged. So that lets me know they definitely played the Slumber Party tape more than the French tape. Normally, when you find a French Jill, she comes with the French tape and also the original in English. And this time, randomly, it is not. It is just the Canadian tape and Slumber Party. But hey, I did a video recently about the craziness of tapes and how they are going for like $200 a piece now. So any tape at this point, I'm excited to have. Okay. And that is because I have the tapes, but I want to, when I put Jills out there, I'm never going to sell a Jill without a tape. And I tried selling Jill, a couple Jills over last summer where she was actually dressed in one of her outfits with like the specialty tape, and they didn't sell that well. Most people are just looking for their first Jill, and they want to make sure to get that original outfit and tape. So hoping I could, I'm not really sure, this is so mummified. I believe this is her top. So I'm gonna just put that there. Oh, okay. Do that. Seems bigger up top here, so I'm assuming this is her top. Lots, again, I should have expected this. Lots and lots and lots of tape. But you know, the great thing about YouTube is you all have the fast forward button. So you can either listen to me ramble while I do this, or you can fast forward to get to the good stuff. So I still think unboxing videos are interesting. I mean, being here doing it is one thing, like Christmas, but watching it, I don't know. I have, I don't know, I have some friends that do unboxing videos, and I guess it's more, I get more excited about their reactions than what they're actually unboxing. Okay, yep, this is definitely the top. I can see her hair now. I just don't know. There is some serious bubble wrap. I like when I can just unwrap the bubble wrap in one big piece. Kind of like hoping this is going to happen now. This bubble wrap seems to be in many layers. So I have just gotten the top layer off. But again, this seller seems to really know what they're doing, so I am happy that she has been mummified, because that is giving her a better chance of not being broke. I mean, I can already tell just from feeling that her arms are okay. Her legs should be alright, hopefully as well. Alright, let's see more. So they wrapped her, like went around in a circle, but then they just also wrapped her in so, I like to recycle bubble wrap because, as you know, it is very expensive, but sometimes it's not an option. Because there's so much tape and it's so thick that you don't know where the tape ends and where it begins. Okay, well, we're finally, let's see, she's not even on camera. That's great. Let's see if I can. So you probably missed most of that crazy bubble wrap, but as you see, there is her feeties. I was excited she has her socks. So socks, the little leg warmers. These are also not as easy to find. So at some point, I kind of judge my inventory of how many Jills I can repair and fix on how complete they are. And the number one thing that's always missing are the hair ribbons. And then this is number 2, usually the socks. And then I guess number 3 would be shoelaces, because I have definitely got a few pair of those. So, you see she's got some weird pants on. I'm not 100% sure. I'm guessing because they're too long, these are actual kids' leggings of some sort, but also I can tell that they are old because this is like elastic, and as I pull it, it's cracking. Like it's not elastic anymore. It's just shredded. So that tells me that she's had these pants on probably since the 80s. So it'd be neat if there was like some kind of prototype Jill out there. I mean, I've never gotten any kind of deviations other than the platinum hair. So I've never seen any kind of prototypes. There are prototypes, obviously, but I don't know what happened to them or where they ended up, which is unfortunate. But never give up the good fight. Maybe I'll find one day. Just like I'm always going to be searching for the store display. Currently, there's only 2 that I know of in the world. One of them belongs to a collector in New Zealand, and he has the full like chair set up, the whole thing. And then the other one is through a collector in Florida, and they have just partial display, like it's not the full thing, so it's missing the chair and whatnot. I think they're actually 2 different displays. All right, well, it's getting somewhere, and then the tape happened again here. Okay, so just cut this way. I always wonder when you go through all this trouble, like, do people go ahead and unwrap and kind of like fake the unboxing where they skip all this and they just reach in the box and they go, oh, here it is, this is great, because it's a lot of work. All right, we're getting almost here to the end, and we're finally getting our first glimpse at Canadian Jill. So let's take a look here. If I can get this last bit of bubble wrap off her. Okay, there she is. Let's see what we got. Check her arms. This one is really good. This one's pretty good. They're intact. That's what matters. Her clothes look pretty good. Obviously, other than her missing her pants. But I have so many of these sweaters anyway. I need to obviously get some of those out as well. Her hair is pretty clean. I've definitely seen worse. And she has a dirty face, but she still has her original blush. So again, that tells me that she hasn't been played with much. Unfortunately, just like I was talking about, what's the number one thing that's always missing? The hairband. No hair ribbon here. She has a lot of hair. It always, even after all this time, it amazes me how much hair that they put on this doll. Like, just insanity. And if you're listening along this far into this, I'm curious. I was talking to another collector about this. You know, all the Jills look the same. I always do their hair the same. I do like it is on the box and how she was advertised. But, you know, she's always talking about doing her hair, styling her hair and stuff. I wonder, do kids actually do that? Because it's so much hair and it's so, like, super curly. Like, how would you even style that different? But it kind of got me thinking when I was talking to a friend. I was like, maybe I'm going to try a different hairstyle. Like, I've done so many with the same that I thought about maybe doing like a side ponytail or just doing some kind of deviation, because she, obviously that's what it was meant for. All right, well, her head looks great. She's good there. So now, obviously, we're going to check the back. There was no pictures of what the inside could possibly look like. So it's always the scary part is, will there be corrosion? So it's like on a winning situation, it'd be great if I opened this and there was a bonus tape inside that someone stored, and then the bad situation would be corrosion. Usually there's nothing. So I'm okay with that. All right, let's see. Her ribbon looks good, and I'm happy to say there is zero corrosion. She is super duper shiny in there. She's overall just very clean. So that gives me a lot of hope that she's going to be okay. Yeah, I don't really see a lot of wear and tear anywhere here. So that's good. I'm going to go ahead and... Oh, well, she's mooned, everybody. I was going to just see if I could just take her sweater off. Let's see if I can do that. Just so I can give her a test run. Alright, let's see if we can find... I have batteries there, but those weren't working very well for me. So, where else did I put some? We can always try this girl. Let's see. Right. If she's got the goods. And she does not. She is empty. So always, when I finish a Jill, the last thing that goes on are the legs, just because they're just in the way and they're just made of plastic. So it does make them a little tricky to set around, though. All right. Well, I was hoping I'd have some other batteries, but it looks like I'm just going to have these batteries up this way. See if I can move this chair over between all this stuff now and grab these. I didn't want to use these because I think they're dying out. You know, you've heard me say a million times, Jill eats batteries for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And these are, I don't even know where I got these, but they're not exactly Energizer. I try to stick with Energizer or Duracell because they seem to last the best. But, you know, when you go through so many batteries at some point, you have to start being thrifty. So these are AC Delco. But anyway, I took these out because the Jill I was using on, she was sounding really slow. I don't know if it was the batteries or something else, but I changed the batteries and she did okay. So they definitely are not full power, but at this point, I'm really just testing to see if she even powers on, because that is always the goal. Because if I can hear any kind of power, that lets me know that there is hope. And I definitely have hope for this girl because she is in such good condition. So let's see. I guess we'll just try the French tape since she's Canadian. And yeah.
Je pense qu'on devrait écrire une chanson ensemble.
Okay.
Une chanson sur les amis.
Well, obviously that's good, but what a bonus that her arms are working okay.
Groupe rock. En parlant de groupe rock,
She's
t'ai-je
moving
déjà dit que
pretty.
mon cousin Michel faisait partie d'un groupe? Ça s'appelle les Hurluberlus et ils sont vraiment très bons.
She doesn't give me any neck movement, which is weird.
Parfois, je vais les voir pratiquer dans le garage. Et de temps en temps, Michel me permet de chanter avec eux, comme ça, juste pour s'amuser.
Usually when you turn it, she'll go back to default. Alright, maybe you just need to warm up with See your lips moved a little bit.
As-tu les qualités d'une vedette? J'imagine que certaines personnes sont déjà des vedettes lorsqu'elles
She's just
viennent
trying
au
to
monde.
wake those
Et
bands
d'autres
up.
doivent
They need
travailler.
to be replaced, obviously, but
Alors, comme je
okay.
veux devenir une vedette,
She's slowly coming back to
j'ai posé une
life.
question. Mais tu ne sauras pas les résultats avant de faire le quiz toi aussi. Dommage, n'est-ce pas?
Her
Je me
mouth is
souviens de
moving a
plusieurs
little bit.
questions.
No eye
Alors, je vais
movement.
te les poser. Tu n'auras qu'à répondre. Mais si tu ne veux pas faire le quiz,
Here we go.
tu aimerais peut-être entendre ma nouvelle chanson et tu pourrais faire une parade de mode pendant que je la chante. Parce que tu me connais,
Alright,
j'adore
good.
changer
See
de
how her
toilette des
eyelid's kinda
milliers de
half
fois
open?
par jour. Mais tu décides toi-même.
What I was doing is just trying to move, get a little movement by pulling down her bottom lip, and that just kind of moves the bands a little bit. Alright.
Le quiz?
So
D'accord. Je vais te poser une question.
take her tape out. Wow, well that went much better than expected. So as you saw, she works. Not only does she work, her arm movement still works. She sounded great. She ran the tape. Her neck eventually started going, and her eyes and mouth had a little movement, which tells me everything is in working order. So even though you saw the arms move a little bit, I still end up replacing those bands because they move a little bit, but we obviously know how much they're supposed to move. They go up and down and all over the place. So just a little movement isn't good enough. Like since I know how to fix it, go in and fix those. And then at some point, obviously, I'll go in her head and change out those as well to get her fully functioning. Now, her eyelids kind of halfway open and close. I'm leaving them like that because when I inventory her away for whenever I get to work on her, when I see that, it lets me know that she does work because they wouldn't normally be in that position. So that lets me know, oh yes, this is the Jill and she works. She just needs to do bands. But that is it for Miss Canadian Jill for this unboxing. That is, you don't often get success stories like that, so that is phenomenal that she works in such good condition and came with the things she came with, and I got her at a really decent price. It just took a long time for her to get here. So yeah, she's good stuff. So at some point, it's gonna, I've got a bunch of Jills ahead of her that'll probably get done beforehand, but before I take her batteries out, I'll test her tape one more time just to see if she rewinds, because that is an issue with a lot of them, is the rewind function, which we're still working on. I found band replacements like exact. I've been using bands from Amazon, which I've showed in other videos, but we actually found somewhere in Europe that has like the actual bands that they used. So I got those, but I do not have those smaller ones yet for the rewind function. So I'm still using the old ones, which they work fine. It's just, I want them to last, for another 20, 30 years. If you do the proper maintenance and care, you got to run your Jill at least every couple weeks or at least every month just to keep the bands from freezing up. So like I've shown in other videos, but I just happen to have a big pile of them here. So these were supposed to be round. but they end up becoming ovals like eggs because this was on there, you know, pulled tight, and it just got stuck in that position and just went kind of brittle. So that's what all those bands inside of her look like right now. So when they move, they can move, but they just don't go the shape they're supposed to. Here's another one. Like they look like teardrops. So obviously you want to keep your jill in motion because that'll prevent that. There's some, it's not as bad. It's a little bit there on the end. But yeah, so you want to keep those bands moving. But all right, so that is all for this video. And wow, we actually kept it under 30 minutes. I love it. So thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video. And again, look for these jills on the secondary market. I usually put them up on eBay. I will say, because I've had multiple people reach out and ask me about putting jills up, I don't expect them to last very long. And I've mentioned in the previous video about tapes that I'm going to try to get this last batch out without having to go up on the prices. But hopefully, because eventually I'm going to run low on these original tapes that come with her, and now they're selling for, I used to be able to get them for like $50, and now they're selling for almost $200, which is crazy. But that is where we're at on the market for whatever reason. So, but yeah, look for these. Hopefully I'll have one of them up, if not two up by the weekend. So thanks again for subscribing, liking the video. If you're new here, welcome. We appreciate having you, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.